Hey everyone, did you hear this? Lily Rose Depp has reportedly begged her dad, Johnny Depp, to marry again. She said, "I can't let him stay alone." Yeah, that's right. She actually said that. And it's got everyone talking. If you've been following the Depp family for a while, you know there's always something emotional or surprising happening. And this one's no different. Some fans are calling it sweet. Others are saying it's way too personal. Either way, it's definitely stirred up the internet. Today we're breaking down the full story. What Lily Rose really said, what's behind those emotional words, and what this could mean for Johnny. We'll also clear up some rumors floating around and share a few insights you might not have heard yet. So stick around till the end because there are some surprising details waiting for you. Alright, let's start from the top. Lily Rose Depp. Most people know her as a talented actress and model, but of course she's also the daughter of Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. She's built her own career, starring in projects like The Idol and the upcoming Nosferatu, and she's done it mostly by keeping her private life, well, private. She doesn't usually talk about her dad's controversies or his personal life. She once even said she's not here to answer for anybody, and honestly, that's fair. But this time, she broke that silence. In a rare emotional moment, she opened up about her father and said she wants him to find love again. The exact words spreading across social media and news outlets are, "I can't let him stay alone?" Now, depending on who you ask, that sentence means very different things. Some people see it as a daughter showing care and love, just wanting her dad to be happy. Others think it's too much, too public, or even a little awkward. But before we jump to conclusions, let's unpack what's really going on here. First, let's be honest. Johnny Depp has had a rough few years. He's gone through a lot of personal battles, including that massive defamation trial with Amber Heard. It was intense, very public, and it definitely took a toll on him emotionally. After everything, Johnny's kind of been keeping to himself. He's been touring with his band, painting, doing smaller projects, but his personal life? Super quiet. So, when Lily Rose says she doesn't want her dad to be alone, it's not coming out of nowhere. She's probably seeing her father go through that quiet, maybe even lonely phase, especially now that his kids are grown up and living their own lives. It's actually kind of relatable, right? We all know someone, maybe a parent, a relative, or a friend, who ends up alone later in life. And as their kids, it's hard to watch that. You want them to be happy again, to have someone by their side. That's what this seems like. A daughter's heartfelt plea, not a publicity stunt. Still, we should point out, we don't know exactly when or where she said it. Was it in an interview, a private conversation that leaked, or something said offhand that got blown up online? The context matters a lot. Without it, that one quote can sound way bigger than it might have been. Now let's talk about timing. Why now? Why say something like this now, after all these years? There are a few possible reasons. First, Johnny's at a stage in life where he might actually feel that kind of emptiness. He's had incredible success, yes, but he's also faced huge personal losses and challenges. He's in his early 60s now, and maybe Lily Rose sees him as someone who's put so much into his career and his battles that he forgot to take care of his heart. Second, maybe she's feeling that shift that happens when kids grow up and start building their own lives. Johnny's kids, Lily Rose and Jack, are both adults now. That empty nest feeling can be real. For parents, it's a quiet kind of loneliness that's easy to overlook from the outside. So her comment might have come from a place of worry. She doesn't want him to fade into solitude. And finally, it could just be a moment of reflection. Maybe she was asked about her family and she spoke honestly. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but when you're a Depp, even a small comment becomes a headline. Now let's clear up some of the big misconceptions floating around online. Some people are saying Lily Rose is telling her dad what to do or forcing him to get married. That's not what's happening here. A plea like, "I can't let him stay alone," isn't an order. It's just love mixed with concern. It's a human thing. Another rumor is that this is some kind of publicity move, like she said it to promote her own projects or shift attention from past controversies. But honestly, Lily Rose isn't the type to use her dad's name for headlines. If anything, she spent most of her career avoiding that connection. And no, Johnny's not obligated to remarry or start dating again just because his daughter said something emotional. He's an adult who makes his own choices, and he's been pretty clear in interviews that he values his peace and solitude. What's really happening here is the media doing what it always does, taking a heartfelt comment and turning it into something bigger. That's why it's so important to look at the full story. Now, think about it for a second. If your parent was alone and you saw them struggling, wouldn't you want to say something? I actually have a friend who went through something similar. Her mom had been single for years after a tough breakup, and she finally sat her down and said, "Mom, I just want you to be happy again." It wasn't about control, it was about care. That's what I see here with Lily Rose and Johnny. It's not about fame or headlines, it's just family. But here's something you might not know. In past interviews, Johnny Depp has talked about loneliness in subtle ways. He once mentioned that after his kids moved out, he started to feel the silence more. He called it a strange kind of emptiness. That's very relatable for any parent, especially someone who's been through public scrutiny and long periods of isolation. He's also said that being a father was one of the most grounding parts of his life. So now that his kids are grown and living separately, that sense of purpose probably feels different. Maybe that's what Lily Rose was picking up on, that subtle sadness that only family can notice. On Lily Rose's side, she's been handling her own kind of pressure. She said multiple times that she doesn't want to be known only as Johnny Depp's daughter, and you can tell she's tried to create her own identity, taking roles that are challenging and independent. But at the same time, she's had to deal with people constantly bringing her dad's name into every headline about her. So when she speaks out about him, even just once, it becomes huge. People analyze every word, every facial expression, every possible meaning. That's the price of being a celebrity child, and it's tough. Now, some experts have weighed in too. Family therapists often say that when adult children publicly express worry for their parents, it can come from a mix of love, guilt, and a need for connection. Sometimes kids feel like they need to protect their parents the way their parents once protected them. It's a beautiful cycle, but also an emotional one. Media analysts also have their take. They say that sharing something personal, even unintentionally, can shift public perception. It reminds people that celebrities have normal family emotions too: worry, sadness, care, longing. Maybe that's part of why Lily Rose's words hit so hard for so many people. Now let's talk about what might happen next. Will Johnny respond? That's the big question everyone's asking right now. So far, Johnny Depp hasn't made any public statement about Lily Rose's emotional plea. Not a word, at least not directly. And that's very Johnny, honestly. He's never been the kind of celebrity to rush into the spotlight to clarify a headline. He tends to sit back, observe the storm, and then, when the moment feels right, he'll quietly drop something powerful. Maybe in an interview, maybe in a letter, or even through his art or music. If you've followed Johnny over the years, you know he's got this poetic way of expressing himself. He doesn't usually address drama head-on, but he'll say something thoughtful, something that makes people stop and think. Remember how, after all the legal chaos, he didn't jump to social media to rant? Instead, he talked about finding peace, painting, and reconnecting with simple joys like music and travel. So if he ever responds to what Lily Rose said, it probably won't be through a fiery statement or press release. It'll be something calm, maybe reflective, a gentle nod that shows love for his daughter without feeding the media machine. And honestly, that would be the most Johnny Depp way to do it. He's a man who values his privacy. Even though he's lived most of his life in front of cameras, he's also fiercely protective of the people he loves. That's something we've seen over and over. Even when things got messy, he never stopped speaking fondly about his kids. He's described Lily Rose and Jack as his reason to keep going, his anchor through the chaos. So this new story, where his daughter is now the one showing public concern for him, kind of flips that dynamic. And I think that's beautiful in its own way. It's like the parent-child roles are slowly reversing as they do in real life. Kids grow up, they become adults, and suddenly they start worrying about you. They start saying things like, "Dad, you need to take care of yourself," or "Mom, you should find someone to keep you company." It's such a relatable human thing. And now we're seeing that play out between Johnny and Lily Rose, just under the massive microscope of celebrity culture. Now, let's imagine for a second what a response might look like. Johnny could go a few different routes. He might acknowledge it in a subtle way. Maybe during a future interview, something like, "My daughter cares deeply about me, and I love her for that." Simple, heartfelt, but not too revealing. That's very in line with his personality, keeping family matters close to his chest while still letting the world know the bond is strong, or he could surprise everyone. He might actually open up more than usual, maybe talk about what aging and loneliness feel like in his world. That would be powerful. Imagine Johnny reflecting on how fame can be isolating, how success doesn't always equal happiness, and how hearing his daughter's concern reminded him to stay open to love again. That kind of honesty would not only warm fans' hearts, but also show a side of him we don't often see. Then again, there's always the chance that he says nothing at all. That's a real possibility, too. Johnny's silence can speak volumes. Sometimes saying nothing is his way of keeping things sacred between him and the people who matter most. Maybe he feels that this is one of those private father-daughter moments that shouldn't become public dialogue. And honestly, who could blame him? Meanwhile, Lily Rose's career is still booming. She's doing more interviews, promoting her upcoming films, and building her own identity apart from her dad's legacy. But now that this quote is out there, you can bet journalists are going to bring it up again. Someone will ask her about it. And when that happens, she'll have to decide whether to double down, clarify or pull back. If she chooses to expand, we might finally hear the full story behind that emotional line. Maybe she'll explain where it came from. Was it something she said off the cuff? Was it part of a longer reflection about family and love? Or maybe she'll say it was taken out of context entirely. It wouldn't be the first time the media amplified a single sentence into a headline that felt bigger than it really was. There's also a chance that this opens the door for a rare public appearance or reunion between Johnny and Lily Rose. They've kept their relationship mostly private, but imagine if they appeared together, maybe at a film premiere, a charity event, or even a casual outing caught by paparazzi. The internet would go wild. Fans love those moments of reconnection. And it would be such a visual reminder that, despite the ups and downs, their bond is still solid. But stepping back for a second, this whole situation isn't just about one quote or one reaction. It's about how fame magnifies every little thing. When a regular daughter says, "Dad, don't be alone," it's touching. When a celebrity daughter says it, it's global news. It shows how hungry people are for glimpses of real emotion in the middle of celebrity chaos. And maybe that's why this story has hit such a nerve. Because at the heart of it, it's not about Hollywood or marriage or image. It's about something universal. A daughter who loves her dad and doesn't want him to fade into solitude. That's it. And whether Johnny chooses to respond publicly or not, that love already says more than words ever could. Whatever happens next, whether it's a quote, a quiet nod in an interview, or just silence, one thing's certain: people will be watching. Because behind the headlines, behind the fame, it's still just a story about family, love, and wanting the people you care about to be happy, and that's something we can all relate to. There's also a chance that this story sparks more speculation. People might start guessing about Johnny's love life again. But hopefully it stays focused on what it really is: a daughter's concern, not celebrity gossip fuel. What's really sweet here is the human side. You've got this huge Hollywood legend, this global icon, and at the end of the day, his daughter just wants him to be happy. It's simple, it's honest, and it's something anyone can relate to. Now let's pause and think. What do you make of all this? Do you see Lily Rose's comment as a loving gesture, or was it a little too personal to share? Everyone has their own take, and honestly, I'd love to hear yours. For me, it feels like something that probably came from a good place. Maybe it slipped out during a moment of emotion. Maybe she just wanted to remind the world that behind the fame and the headlines, there's a real father-daughter relationship that matters to her, And that's what I find touching. Not dramatic, not scandalous, just touching. If you're still curious about how celebrities manage their public image, especially when it comes to family and personal matters, you should definitely check out my next video. It's all about how stars decide when to speak out, when to stay silent, and how that choice shapes their careers. It's fascinating, and it'll help you see stories like this one in a whole new way. Before you go, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps more people find these kinds of deep dive stories. And if you enjoy these honest, balanced breakdowns of celebrity moments, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. What I love about this community is that we can talk about big names and famous faces, but in a real, human way. We look past the gossip and focus on the people, their choices, and their emotions. So what do you think? Should Johnny Depp find love again? Do you think Lily Rose went too far by making that plea public? Or was it just a sweet reminder that even celebrities need family love and connection? Let me know in the comments. I always love reading what you have to say. And remember, at the end of the day, fame doesn't protect anyone from loneliness. Whether you're Johnny Depp or just someone living a quiet life, we all need love, support, and a reminder that we're not alone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one.